Hi guys, today is the 20th of August 2019 at 33 minutes past 34 minutes past 3 in the morning over here in the UK, and I just want to add on a quick interpretation following on from August 21st, which is tomorrow, and then that leading on to August 27th and so on and so forth. So the August 21st reference, first of all, for those who haven't seen it, is taken from the 8 in the middle and the 2 seeds on one side and the 1 seed on the other side. August 21st, the date Hawaii received statehood. Obama's in this frame. You can see his foot just here. Obama is from Hawaii. We've got this lotus flower, lily flower blooming out in the middle of the apple. The interpretation for that is an eruption or an explosion of some kind. Generally, I think coming from underground. Again, if it's from underground, that would connect with a volcano. On the apple, we have the volcano just here, erupting with the lava coming out, and that could be Kilauea, Mauna Loa in Hawaii. But the other interpretation is Mount Etna and or Stromboli over in the Mediterranean, the Italy side of things. Obviously, the reason for Italy is the volcano, the apple representing an island, the foot being the shape of Italy. If we just have a quick look at the map for those who are not familiar with that, zoom out. Okay, so here's Italy. This would be the apple, the larger landmass. Right here on the island is the volcano Mount Etna, and obviously right next to that is Italy itself, which is shaped like a foot or a boot. And I think that's the interpretation that we're getting here in this scene with the apple, the island, the volcano on that island, and that being next to Italy, shaped like the boot. The part I want to get onto here is the pound coin. It's partially covered by Italy, partially covered by the foot of Obama, and I think that it's possible that if we're looking at an eruption of Mount Etna or Stromboli in the Mediterranean resulting excuse me, in a collapse followed by a tsunami and something connected with the UK, I think that might be Gibraltar. If we think geographically, the UK can't really be reached by a tsunami that would occur from the collapse of Mount Etna or Stromboli. But the UK has territories in the region, most notably Gibraltar, where the Iranian tanker was being held and the subject of much dispute in the Brexit negotiations. So it's possible that that's what we're seeing in this scene here, with the pound coin being partially covered or some of it being partially removed. That could represent Gibraltar in the region being taken over by the tsunami. And it's possible that because it's so close, it could end up being 17 foot under, I'm assuming, water, the tsunami here. So that's the double layer. There's more layers of interpretation for this, but that's the double layer of interpretation that I've got just for that apple there. Two volcanoes, well, four volcanoes in two different regions, Hawaii and the Mediterranean. The possibility of the pound coin and a piece of it being covered, possibly representing a territory that the UK owns, such as Gibraltar, in the region, being submerged underneath water if the volcano did erupt and cause a landslide tsunami in the region. Just going, sorry, actually, just wanted to go back to where I was. So just to add on to that possible interpretation, I know this isn't the new pound coin, it doesn't look like it anyway, but the new pound coin we started using on March the 28th, 2017. Now backwards, that would be 823. It's possible that we could have a linear reference here with 8/21, followed by the date the UK started using a new pound coin, March 28th, but backwards, 8/23. And the 23 number is emphasized again just outside the classroom. Although I think this is also giving us a reference to an upside down 7 and the number 3. The 7 being a representation of the 7th month on the Roman calendar, which is September. So that would be September 3rd. And then that flows again, because if you go back inside the classroom, you get a reference to September 2nd with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th character, September, and the 2 above the head, September 2nd. Go outside the classroom, September 3rd. Obviously, we have the 27 reference here. Again, that could be the 27th of August, which is coming up. If we have an 8/21 and 8/23, then 8/27 may just be in there. Again, if this is a hare rather than a rabbit, which I do think it is because it's got the longer ears, I always refer to it as a rabbit just because it's easier, but it is a white hare. The hare, again, connects with the H reference that they keep using throughout this video, with the house and the hangman and the hearts. So H is obviously the 8th letter of the alphabet, and that would be an 8 for the hare, a 2 with the ears, and a 7 above. So 8/27, September the 2nd, September the 3rd. All of those dates seem to be a linear reference, at least from 8/21 up to September the 3rd. There seems to be little markers in here for that. And again, if you wanted to even look at September the 2nd in a different way, you could look at the 7 here as, again, the 7th month on the Roman calendar, which is September, and then going backwards, look at the years, which is again 2. So I think that's pretty much my interpretation there. I think the main thing I wanted to present in this video, which I haven't really talked about before, is the pound coin and the possibility of that being a representation of 8/23, just the date backwards when the UK started using the new pound coin, and the possibility of the pound coin being partially covered, being connected to the territory of Gibraltar, being partially or fully submerged by a tsunami, if one were to occur in that region in association with Mount Etna and Stromboli. Obviously 8/21 is tomorrow, so there really isn't very long to wait. I hope nothing like that does happen again, because it's, you know, something that would be very devastating. Many lives would be lost, and that's something I'm trying to prevent with these kind of videos. If it means anything at all to put this kind of things out in the public, and, you know, if there is any effects on their plans, then great. But I don't, in my heart, I don't believe they care as such. There's just far too many people still asleep, despite the numbers of views that are on different videos of people who are, you know, exposing different levels of corruption throughout the psychological, mental, emotional world. There's still a larger number that's asleep. So in that grand scheme of things, we can still just be partitioned off as heretics, conspiracy theorists, crazy people. I don't feel I'm particularly crazy, but, you know, it's easy to manipulate things like interpretation videos and make it seem like someone is, which is why a lot of YouTubers stop doing these kind of videos and either do nothing or concentrate on something else. But just for reiteration, 8/21, look out for a volcanic eruption, whether that's in Hawaii, whether that's in the Mediterranean. Those are the two regions I'm getting from this interpretation of this particular apple in this scene and frame. If that happens, look out for the territory of Gibraltar being wiped off from the UK. And then following that, There's 8/27, September the 2nd and September the 3rd, for various different events to look out for. A number of them we've specified throughout the 2 to 3 years that we've been doing this work. Many thanks to my brother JK Bugger. As I say, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have even started with this whole interpretation, looking at this video in this way. I probably wouldn't have even come across it, to be quite honest with you. So yes, very grateful. And with that said, you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.